everyone. First of all, we'd like to thank you all for coming. My name is Renee Moss. I'm the Senior Southern Region Organizer with Food and Water Watch here in Durham, North Carolina. Tonight at approximately 5:30 p.m., U.S. Trade Representative will join trade ministers from 11 other Pacific Rim nations across the to sign the 6,000-page TPP trade treaty. The TPP prioritizes the interests of international corporations above the public interest goals, and it undermines good-paying jobs, food safety, clean air and water, affordable medicine, internet freedoms, human rights, and our democracy. We stand here today, a broad-based coalition of labor, environmental, faith, consumer organizations, and others, on the doorsteps of Representative G.K. Butterfield to tell him and the rest of the North Carolina congressional delegation that we want them to reject the Trans-Pacific Partnership. Today, our first speaker is a North Carolina native and the campaign manager of the AFL-CIO, championing good-paying jobs for all of North Carolinians. Please welcome Robert Poirier.
Hey, everybody. Hey, my name is Robert Poirier, the campaign manager of the AFL-CIO. I'm here today to talk about job losses under some of the, quote, free trade agreements that we've had to suffer in North Carolina over the last 20 years. I'm from Gaston County, North Carolina, where there used to be a lot of mills and a lot of decent paying jobs, and they're all gone now. I mean, as a matter of fact, about 40% of all manufacturing jobs in North Carolina are gone now compared to pre-NAFTA levels. We have members in our unions all over this state whose jobs are going to be on the line if TPP is signed. We know that the job losses are coming. All the job increases that were promised with the other free trade agreements just did not happen, and this trade agreement is a lot worse. Yeah, so just recently at Freightliner in North Carolina, 936 UAW members were laid off. And these are industrial workers that used to be the backbone of the middle class in the United States. And these jobs are being eroded so fast now because of these trade agreements. So we're here to tell Representative Butterfield that we can't afford another trade deal like the TPP. We can't afford the job losses, and our membership is gonna fight this every step of the way. The AFL-CIO is mobilizing people nationwide. We're putting pressure on all representatives to vote against it because they're the only people that can stop this. Our representatives in Congress were sent there to do the work of the people of North Carolina, and we need them to step up and be leaders. Thank you.
Thank you, Robert. Our next speaker is Ajamu Dillahunt. He is with the Black Workers for Justice and American Postal Union.
Good morning. Black Workers for Justice stands in opposition to the TPP because we understand it's yet another neoliberal policy designed to enrich the 1% and to further beat down the working class. We know that these trade agreements are free trade only for those who are going to make plenty of money from it, right? They're free from regulations that deal with the environment, free from labor regulations, and free from tariffs. But they're not fair for the working class here in this country or any of the other countries that will be affected, and especially those in the global south. We've seen hundreds of thousands of jobs lost in North Carolina to black workers and other working people, jobs that never will return. And this has further contributed to wealth inequality and income inequality in this country. We've seen this as a continuing pattern of unemployment over the last 6 decades for black workers. As recently as February of last year, black workers had an unemployment rate of 10.4%, as opposed to our white colleagues at 5.1%. Free trade agreements further exacerbate this, and we have to see them stop. We need to see a federal jobs program that deals with climate change and unemployment. A federal jobs program that creates clean energy jobs, that puts displaced workers back to work in good paying labor jobs, and that the black workers who have been locked out of the system are brought in to participate in this as well. So we join with the rest of our coalition in labor and in environmental justice groups and say no to TPP.
Our next speaker knows more than anyone else what's at stake if the TPP ships our jobs overseas. Yvonne Kingston is a call center worker and a member of Communication Workers of America.
Greetings. I stand before you as the middle class workers. I stand before you as a middle class worker for call centers. TPP isn't really a trade deal, unless you're talking about trading jobs, American jobs, including call centers and other job sectors overseas. In the federal call center, as middle class workers, we stand and we support our community. We use our income to not only support our families, to make sure that they have decent meals, also to make sure that their medical expenses are covered. On the onset of being able to retire, we're looking at what these jobs would, what TPP would do for us. We've spent years with our company, and to get to the onset to wonder if we're going to have that. By supporting TPP, you're leaving us in limbo. So we stand and we ask, do not vote for the TPP. Help the middle class that is also helping their communities to stand and to look forward to what we have after we've worked and suffered. We stand against TPP and we ask that you stand with us.
Thank you. Our last speaker is Melvin Montford. He's the Executive Director of the A. Philip Randolph Institute.
Good morning. Good morning. You know, I had a speech prepared, but when I was going to talk about a lot of facts and statistics that, looking at the crowd, you probably already know. I have several big concerns about TPP, and the more I read about it, like this investor to state dispute settlement thing, that I really don't understand how we're going to agree to something that will allow a foreign country to sue us for saying made in North Carolina, made in the USA. Right. I don't understand that. So does that mean when I go to the grocery store and I try to find some produce that's grown in the state of North Carolina, I will no longer know that? Or if I want to go to a farmer's market where they have a big sign saying North Carolina agriculture, will they have to take that down because of this TPP trade deal? Now, those are the kind of things that the more I read this, that I don't understand how we can support it, because those answers are not in the agreement, not the part that I read. And I haven't read every page because there's a lot of it. Now, Mr. A. Philip Randolph said a lot of things, but one thing that I always remember that he said, that a decent and good paying job is the first step towards social justice. Now, I want the Congress to explain to me on how you can agree to something that pushes wages in a downward position and still tell me that that's going to create social justice. I'm waiting for an answer on that. And I haven't received one yet. Maybe I will. But looking at the TPP, I doubt it seriously. So let me say something about NAFTA. I can't help from saying this. Because I'm a former union negotiator. And I worked for the union for 40 years in different capacities. A lot of personal friends of mine lost their jobs because of NAFTA. And a lot of those folks have passed away now, and they lost their pensions. And at a late time in their life, when they should have had a good pension that they could retire with dignity, they were still out scraping from day to day trying to make it. TPP, some people saying it's NAFTA on steroids. We don't need any more NAFTA, and we certainly don't need anything that's worse than NAFTA. So it bothers me when I talk about this, because I know so many plants in the furniture business in Western North Carolina, the textile business, in Roanoke Rapids and across the state, where family members and friends have lost their job because of NAFTA. So I'm strongly against TPP, and I really hope that our North Carolina lawmakers will take a strong leadership position and come out against TPP. Because I haven't seen anything yet that says it's going to be good for the state of North Carolina, it's going to be good for my family, it's going to be good for my children, it's not going to be good for my grandchildren, and it's definitely not going to be good for my 3 great-grandchildren. So I'm upset about TPP, and please, Mr. Butterfield, take another look at it. Let's talk about it, and let's go against this TPP trade deal. Thank you.
To close out, we would again like to thank everyone for coming and urge everyone they can to do what they can to tell North Carolina delegation to reject the TPP. Thank you.